been watching these Senate races very closely. It's looking like a pretty good night for the Democrats in the Senate races.
Yeah, that's right. The Democrats are very close to a point where they will definitely hold on to majority control of the Senate. The Republicans needed to get 3 or 4 seats, depending on who won the White House, because Democrats currently have a 53 to 47 seat majority in the Senate. And Democrats have already won marquee races, really, in places like Massachusetts, where Ellen Warren defeated Senator Scott Brown, and in Indiana, where it was a real upset for Democrats to take that seat. They also seem to have won a seat in Maine, which was won by an independent who people expect to team up with or caucus with the Democrats. So they're very close to a situation where it would be mathematically impossible for the Republicans to retake the Senate.
You know, we were having this conversation a minute ago with former Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Republicans have paid a price for some of the more extreme positions that some of their candidates have taken in those Senate races. They've suffered because Senator Richard Lugar, a relative moderate, was defeated in a primary campaign and replaced by Murdoch, who has now been declared the loser in that race, suffered in Missouri as well. Missouri has certainly been a critical race. Has that one been declared? Yeah.
That's been declared by some of the networks. Last I saw, it wasn't declared by the Associated Press, which is the yardstick that we like to use. But it is true that if Democrats win in Missouri and in Indiana, 2 states that at the beginning of this election, Republicans were considered all but certain to win. And if they do that because of these candidates that won Republican primaries with a great deal of help and support from Tea Party activists, you know, it may prompt a rethinking within the Republican Party about the way these things are going. Because this would follow 3 seats in 2010 that the Republicans were expected to win, but when Tea Party associated candidates won the nomination there, people remember Christine O'Donnell, Sharon Angle, Ken Buck. When those 3 nominees won, they were then defeated by Democrats. So you could argue that that makes 5 seats that the Republicans would otherwise hold, except that they nominated Tea Party-backed candidates. And my guess is that that will prompt some recriminations and some soul-searching within the Republican Party starting tomorrow.
Now, Naftali, you said it's pretty clear at this point that Democrats will retain control of the Senate. Right now, they are 53-47. What's your guess on what that number is going to look like after we get through these races?
Well, it's always dangerous, you know, to guess.
Yeah, I know.
wouldn't doubt
I'm
that
asking you to be dangerous.
Okay, I'll say 52-48. I'll say that maybe they'll lose 1 seat. You know, there's still plenty of seats that the Democrats could lose to Republicans. That could happen in Virginia. That could happen, probably will happen in Nebraska, North Dakota, possibly. So, you know, the night's not over, and the Republicans could still make some gains. It's just that because of these early victories by the Democrats, an actual majority for the Republicans seems very close to being out of reach.
And it's worth pointing out, as you have, what a huge disappointment that is for Republicans, because you had 23 Democratic seats at stake in this election and only 10 Republicans. They had more targets to go after. They thought they would be able to pick up more. That hasn't happened tonight.
Yeah, it's absolutely, I think, a big disappointment for the Republicans, and I think there will be a lot of questions within the party about what they could have done differently. At the beginning of this election cycle, it's not just that Republicans were defending only 10 seats to the 23 of the Democrats, but the Democrats were up in a lot of pretty conservative swing states, from North Dakota, you know, to Montana, to Nebraska, to Missouri. It seemed really pretty likely that Mitch McConnell would be the next majority leader. But a series of good recruits by the Democrats, strong fundraising by the Democrats, and then missteps and gaffes by Republicans have led to the situation tonight where it's fairly clear that Democrats are going to hold on.
Yep. Okay. Naftali, thank you very much for being with us.